You want to know how much I'm earning as a wedding host? I'm gonna tell you. What's up, everybody? Welcome back again to my YouTube channel. By the way, my name is Jherald, weddings and events host, micro entrepreneur, and a full-time father. I am now back on my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna be speaking this afternoon or today the story, the history, on how did I become a wedding host. Perhaps I really didn't start it on weddings. I started when I started to speak out. Even long before, when I was still in elementary, during high school, even in college, I am this type who really talks a lot, and I talk of anything from things with sense to nonsense and to anything. In fact, I am maybe on a class. You can. I am somebody who will always be listed in the noisy students, noisy pupil back when we were in elementary. I am that guy. I could still recall during elementary years, before. I know everyone could understand or could relate during elementary years before we officially start the class. There will be a little program. Somebody has to sing. Somebody's assigned to say a verse, or somebody's assigned to say a line or a call, whatever. It happened in elementary years. I don't know. Well, perhaps everyone knows that. And yeah, I used to host, or I used to be the person in front of the class, speaking, having a little program. My advisor would have me to have a little program before we start. Until in high school, from classroom in high school, I started to face a larger crowd. I love being on a large crowd. I love to be speaking with a lot of people. So it started there. Not officially on wedding yet, but I officially started basically my wedding hosting stint. I could still remember I was still on first year college. I could still even remember very fresh in my mind that I first hosted a wedding on April 6, 2011. I am first year college, that's April, and that's summer. And it's I have always been very grateful to be, that's my first exposure on the wedding scene, on the wedding industry. And I am always been very grateful to this guy who brought me to the wedding industry. He is my mentor, truly the one who presented me, or who molded me to who I am now as an events host. That is in the name of Mr. Froilan Escalante. He's also a renowned host. Everybody knows him in the events industry, in the wedding industry, right here in Iligan. If you say Sir Froilan Escalante, everyone knows him. So he's the one who brought me to a wedding, because what happened was on April 6, 2011, he is supposed to be hosting a wedding on one venue, known venue here on Iligan. It's Laylay Gardens. But however, his schedule was somehow a conflict on time. So what he does, he called me that on April 6, 2011, that year, I will be hosting a wedding. He called me day before. See? So in short, oh my God, I cannot, I don't even know how the wedding industry, or how the wedding program run. So what he did, day before, April 6, we met to Laylay Gardens. Sir Froilan told me what I'm gonna be saying, or perhaps also told me that I have to research something for myself, that some words that I would be comfortable, so I would just be very comfortable also speaking to the guests. So I also did my assignment. I could even remember I got lots of bond paper, something like this. I have folded like this one. I have all my all the words I have to say are on this. I guess I have three lengthwise, three something like this that I have to bring all throughout the program. I have to read everything that I have to say, because that's again my first time to be on the wedding scene, on the wedding reception. For me, it went well. It went well. In fact, I enjoyed what I am doing. Aside from I love being on a large crowd, love to be speaking, I am also very amazed to be earning, or to have something, at least for myself. Because in fact, when I first had my pay, or when the organizer has handed me my first pay slip, I was shocked. For one single posting stint, around 3-4 hours, I was amazed. You want to know how much I'm earning as a wedding host? I'm gonna tell you. After Lailai Gardens, there are some wedding coordinators outside Lailai that have heard about me, that sometimes their frontline will not be available, my mentor will not be available, so sometimes they would opt to have me, or to get me to host their events. Some wedding coordinators just right here in Iligan. And not until I couldn't exactly remember when was that one wedding coordinator that is based on Cagayan de Oro, in the name of Miss Mikay Ebao, who have heard me from one wedding supplier also. Well, I also am a marketing student. I graduated entrepreneurial marketing, and it has been said, always been said, that the most effective marketing tool definitely is, the word of mouth. Because when people hear about you, hear good things about you, this is when you start to build up your career. That's what I do. That's what I do. Now traveling to one place to the other, basically covering the whole region of North Mindanao. Just to go on wedding, to gate crash on weddings, just to be speaking, just to be hosting, just to entertain the guests. And it is definitely rewarding. Aside from the money that I am earning, what really is more rewarding is, the smiles, the happiness, the emotions, the people talking about the program, how happy they have been, how they cannot forget the wedding program, how they can, imagine that it could happen that way. It is something like that actually that pays off better than the money that I am earning. And now that you know how I started my journey as a wedding host, this time I'm going to be imparting to you how could you also become a very good host. I'm going to be giving you 3 tips on how can you start your journey also to become a very good wedding host. My first advice on how to become a very effective, or somehow an effective wedding host, is to be just yourself. It is very hard to play as someone when you go to one event, when in fact you are not really that type of person. Maybe if you are the not so funny type, when you try very hard to be funny, it's very difficult. So you have to work out, because we are on the entertainment industry. We have to entertain our guests. So it has to come naturally from us, that we could really entertain a large crowd, that a large crowd would love to listen to us because they got hooked on every word or every phrase that we say to all of the guests. So again, that's the very first thing, to be just yourself. Not just as a wedding host perhaps, but on any career that you choose in the future. Again, in anything, just be yourself. That's tip number 1. And tip number two, in everything we do, it really takes lots and lots and lots and lots of practice. You really have to practice yourself. You have maybe on a if you have one gathering of perhaps a small family reunion, if you really want to build your career as a host, perhaps you would be very willing to volunteer yourself that I will be hosting this event, that you could make people laugh, that you could make people hook onto you on everything that you are saying. It takes a lot of practice, I tell you. So in short, you cannot just jump simply, I want to be a wedding host tomorrow. My cousin will be having a wedding. I'm gonna be hosting it because I want to be a wedding host. Not as easy as that. You have to consider hosting as an art. Just like any artist, it takes a lot of practice. Painters got lots of canvas to, practice their painting. Great musicians had different voice coaches. They have to know how to read notes, or even the greatest artists really it took them lots and lots and lots of time to practice. Similar, if you wanted to build your career as a wedding host, practice really is the key. My last tip, take note of this. As a wedding host, or if you have if you build your career as a wedding host, this is my tip for you. You really have to be a people person. You know what I'm saying? You really must know very well how to work with different type of people. Because when you become a successful wedding host, you really have to work with different type of people. From different type of client to different type of wedding coordinators to different type of audio guys, technical guys. You really have to be, the person who knows to blend so well to every person that you will be working with. Because that's really how it works. Because in everything we do, you must really learn in a way or another how to blend on everyone that is just working for one purpose. And the purpose as wedding hosts, or for all the wedding people, our one main goal is to bring out the best wedding on each of our clients. So again, you really have to work so well with all the people that is working on the same goal. So again, that's just three tips I could give you. First is you really have to be yourself. You don't play to be somebody if you really want to become a very good host. Just be yourself. Simply. That's number one. Number two, you really have to practice. Practice a lot. If it would take you to be speaking on the mirror just by yourself, hearing yourself, or recording yourself on your mobile phone and then watching it after, and looking on how you perform on the video, well, you may do that. You can definitely do that. And lastly, to become a very successful host, you really have to be a people person. You really have to know how to blend well with every client, with every people that you will be working with on the events industry. And so there we have it. Now you know the history and how I become a wedding host, how I started, to be talking, loving large of crowd. And now I also have given you some tips on how to become a very effective and efficient wedding host in the future. I hope you got something on this video. So if you like this video, please again don't forget to subscribe on my YouTube channel and share it to aspiring hosts also who would love to become a successful wedding host in the future. If you want to, give suggestions on my next video on which I will be talking about, feel free to comment it on the comment section below. Anything you want to know about wedding hosting perhaps, or micro entrepreneurship, or about fatherhood, anything that you may want to ask, you may freely ask it on the comment section below. Again, this is Jherald Ebao, weddings and events host based in Iligan, basically catering weddings in northern Mindanao. Also, micro entrepreneur, full-time father, and a husband. Saying to everybody, may your heart's desire all be granted. See you on the next video. I hope you have a great time. Bye!